Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution, or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They couldn't contain Deshaun Hand that time as he gets home for the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Mike, 58, right there. Let's go, tackle, let's go. We got this, we got this. 58, boys, 58, Mike.
Throwing on third and long. Vick into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, and interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Another run here with Sanders. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Lions use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point good by Prater. And that makes the score 21-0. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And incomplete, crisis averted, almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
His struggles finding open receivers continue. I don't know the last time I saw him this inconsistent throwing the football.
It would be hard to find a date when he was this inconsistent. You know, in his locker, he keeps the word poise printed on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. He needs to find that poise right now.
He certainly does. In fact, I would suggest he laminated.
17 yards and a 1st down for Atlanta.
First down, Falcons.
So on the heels of the run by Todd Gurley, another 1st and 10.
Get off the field. Watch safety quick. Safety.
Working out of the gun, Michael Vick. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
58, right over. Mike, 58.
Vic to throw it. And his throw here's incomplete. Robert Foster, the intended receiver, but now it's third down. Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Deshaun Hand able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner. And I don't think with 3 scores down in the third quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. 35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over first and 10. On first and 10, Stafford. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's taken down inside the 30. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
They go play action here on first down. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
40 got.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Alert. Watch the shot. Hey, I need one over here.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Prater for the extra point. And it is 28-0. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Gurley again here on first down. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
That one, a gain of 20 and a first down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Fresno.
On first down, it's Gurley. And an alley to run. 20. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Todd Gurley with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Falcons cut into that lead. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 28-7 ball game. Back now at Ford Field, where the fourth quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the third quarter. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. All of a sudden, they have quite a bit of breathing room. This was a one-score game, but touchdowns on their last 2 drives. And now the Red Sea parts, and there he goes. The 20. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Vick. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Rush in, rush in, rush in. That's it.
On 3rd down, Vick. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On the return, here's Agnew. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
That's it. Blue 60. Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Watch this guy.
On 1st down, it's Sanders. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Time to go, night. 45, 45, 45, Mike.
Here's Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Stafford now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Now Sanders. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Open here is Allison. That's complete. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go!
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the...
And his first carry, he loses the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will set up shop, red zone territory at the 13-yard line.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
Check.
They'll run on 1st down. Sanders. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better, and that got it done in this one.
So for the Lions, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll get another home date next week as the Packers will come to town. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3 and 3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
Some product, rolling up. I'm in a brand new model. It'll be here tomorrow. I don't got fears or problems. Only got real ones round them. Only got. It take a week to count it. Then I'm back up. Name the place and we pack up. Running these racks up. 100 meals a week after. Dying from laughter. When they come to handles, never had one. With a bad one. Made a meal today and they my last one.
Oh, I had to get back up.